Welcome to this bonus video, where we will tie up all of the loose ends that were left to be put together by the hand of the hand. First, we will start by going to the only warp zone that the hand have. You might have thought that there was no warp zones at all because the stat screen at the ending of the last video said that there were no bandages or warp zones, but there is the glitch world, obviously. This is the final entryway, and this is the most painful one to get, if only because all of the levels are incredibly long. Your best bet will be to go on level 6-1, because this is the shortest and the easiest level of the bunch, but you might also fail a Dark World level so much that eventually, just by trying to beat the level, you will eventually get to the glitch world. Alright, what horrors will await us into the final glitch world? And we're thrown into hell, because unfortunately there's not a 8-bit rendition of the song in the end. But hey, whatever, because we've got the Super Mario 3 airship right now, and this pretty much compensates for everything bad that this level could have done into any kind of stylistic standpoint. Not that there are any, this is probably my favorite glitch world of the entire game, even though this is not one of the hardest one of the bunch. In fact, a whole lot of people think this is the easiest glitch world of the game, but it doesn't really matter because this stage is still pretty fun to play. It's kinda hard considering that you're in a forced time limit because of the saw blades, but other than that, it's a really fun level. And here we go, that was the final warp zone of the entire game. And now, we will be interested into the characters that you can unlock through cheat codes. They're all accessible into the character selection screen, and you have to enter all sorts of code either on the gamepad or the keyboard.
Push the buttons!
And you'll hear that whenever you've entered the code correctly. So here we go, instead of racing against Brownie, now you can race as Brownie. He's the same exact thing as Meat Boy Hominid, though that instead of being made out of blood and guts, basically he's made out of poop. And he doesn't explode into a messy fashion whenever he gets killed, which is surprising considering how often Henman McMillan or Teammate is usually pretty fascinated with poop and urine or whatever, as you might have guessed by playing The Binding of Isaac, which is a fantastic game, shall I say. So that's it for Brownie, pretty much a poop skin for Meat Boy, only though you can only play as him if you have an Xbox 360 controller. Now, I've covered Gooball into a previous update, but here he is again just for the sake of completion.
Push the buttons!
As always, you've gotta have your enthusiastic announcer tell you that you're right. So yeah, instead of being only able to play as him on Super Meat World, you can play as him on any level that you want into the game. Or that's what you could have done if you owned the direct drive version of the game, because he replaces Headcrab, who happens to be the first unlockable character of the game whenever you collect 10 bandages. And yeah, just in case that you forgot, the gimmick of Gooball was to hang on ceilings or walls in order to slide down a whole lot slower. Basically, it's not the most useful level of the game to use him in. In fact, there's not a whole lot of levels into the game that are suitable for this character, so if you want to see this character being used at its fullest, check out the chapter on Super Meat World entitled The Sewers of Goo. Aha, let's say hello to a character so nice that we had to add him later into the game. Tofu Boy, aka the absence of iron.
Push the buttons!
You always need your red meat if you want to survive, because otherwise you'll end up looking like this. Yep, Tofu Boy is as good as he looks. Tofu Boy is a late addition to the game because it was patched in as an answer to Petad, who decided to do a Super Tofu Boy parody game in answer to their Meat Boy Flash game, and well, the game is pretty terrible. I've never been a fan of this Meat Boy Flash game because the controls are kinda not responsive and feel pretty weird, but after playing Super Tofu Boy, I noticed that things could have been a whole lot worse, so here we go, we have to jump. Oh my god, why? Hours of fun await you whenever you play as Tofu Boy, but to put things into perspective, Tofu Boy is so bad that he cannot beat level 1-1. Yep, he's never gonna be able to reach that platform where Bandage Girl is, no matter how hard you try. Basically, the fun factor of Tofu Boy resides in trying to beat levels that were otherwise really easy and just make it so that, well, with Tofu Boy they pretty much become impossible. Oh, come on, I just want to be cooled off by the fan. Yeah, he really cannot do anything because he's so slow. Yeah, by the way, it's impossible to run as him, and this is as high as he'll jump. Oh my god, you're so worthless. if you try really hard, there's a slight handful of levels that you can beat as him. Basically, there's a video on YouTube where somebody decided to play as Tofu Boy and managed to beat 40 levels into the game, this being one of them. I decided I'd try my hand at doing this because it felt like something that I could do, but unfortunately it didn't work out, and there's no way I'm trying again because this is the most tedious thing in the world. With the upcoming cheat code, you can play as a character that is otherwise only accessible on the Xbox 360. You will unlock Tim from Braid if you had 50 bandages into the game, but into this version you have to type in how to time onto your keyboard, and unlike the other cheat codes, you won't hear the guy saying
Push the buttons!
whenever you'll enter the cheat code correctly, so sometime it may or may not work. But as for Tim, basically his gimmick is being able to rewind time, just like you could do in Braid. The only difference is whenever you die you don't get a second chance of rewinding time. So in short, this is a character that's pretty easy to become really reckless whenever you play because, hey, the moment that you get hit by a rocket, just before it hits you, you can just hit the rewind time key, and whenever you rewind time, you become invincible, so that's a huge plus for the character. The only drawback with this character is that he doesn't have a run button. That's the only speed that he can go at, but with that said, he doesn't have too much of a bad speed, so in short, he's a pretty decent character. With that said, whenever you rewind time, the timer doesn't tick backward, as you might have guessed, so he's a character that could go great for doing particularly hard tasks like getting the bandage into 319X, but otherwise, this is not a character that you will see on leaderboards. I think he also was patched much later into the game because a whole lot of websites that deal into cheat codes for Super Meat Boy, they don't talk about this character at all. With that said, he's still a pretty good addition to the game, and it's pretty fun to be able to play as him for the people who only own the PC version of the game like me, but hello, camera, we're trying to follow the character here, just, can you please stop being on your lunch break? I think this further cements the fact that he was stealth patched into the game because holy shit, did they even test out replays at him? I mean, nothing is happening! What the hell? Going back and forth through time unfortunately destroys replay. But you can also have a whole lot of fun. I mean, come on, this is not accomplishing anything worthwhile or constructive, but I still stand by the point that this is constructive and worthwhile because, come on, you can finally laugh at Hellmouse, and this is worth the price of the admission. Okay, or not. So here's the last new character of the PC version, Hominid. He was into the Xbox 360 version of the game whenever you get 30 bandages. And I really think that he would have made a much better unlock than Joseph into the PC version because he's a really neat character as you've seen here. His ability is to shoot his blaster up, which propels him slightly upward, and this always leads to pretty funny stuff because, hey, until your next death, the projectiles that have yet to exit the screen will still be there. He has pretty good speed and overall, he doesn't have the best jump of the game, but whenever you jump and shoot your blaster at the same time, you will gain a whole lot of height. Normally, you were supposed to only have this character if you bought the retail version of the game, I mean the box version, Ultra Edition, but apparently Team Meat fucked up because I don't own the Ultra Deluxe Edition of the game, and yet I still have this character. And in fact, if you bought this game on the Humble Bundle, you will still get this character regardless, and yeah, I've definitely tried that out for way too long. But come on, Hominid is really fun to play as, so he's worth the price of the admission, alright. We're only gonna unlock this character on the upcoming chapter of the game, but I'll get him out of the way right now. Meet Ninja from the future. And right here, you've got the one reason why it's pretty much worthless to play as him, because he's banned from leaderboards, so you cannot set off high scores, or you cannot do high end man run either. But the gimmick of Meat Ninja is that he can teleport through things, but the timing has to be incredibly precise. It's pretty much 1 split second before you run into the obstacle. Basically, whenever you teleport, you become invincible for about 1/4 of a second, but if you reappear while you're still into an obstacle, you will still die, so it still requires some finesse in order to be able to play as him. And by the way, in order to unlock this character, you need to 100% the entire game, which we will do into the upcoming updates. In the meantime, this is a pretty cool thing you can do as him. You can make rockets explode into Netherland because you teleport out of the way, or not. So here we go, the other main feature of this update. We will play one of these levels with the keyboard. Which one will it be? Big money, big money! Will it be 515 and will it be something else? Oh my god, this is slowing down. And the answer is 1-1! Congratulations! Come on, who could have fell for it? The true winner is 517X. So here we go, we're gonna play this one level with the keyboard. I'm gonna leave in my journey toward the stage if only to show that I'm indeed using the keyboard. Normally, if you have a gamepad, you will see button prompts instead of key prompts. So this is it. We're gonna play this level with the keyboard, and in order to add further interest, basically people have requested that I get the bandage of this level. It's not into the level per se, but you still know that it's into this little gap there, which we're trying to break with rockets. Catfish told me of a way that you could get this bandage by standing onto the tall tower here by doing a jump just before the rocket goes there. And usually this is a tactic that will work until getting this bandage a whole lot easier. But for some reason, whenever I tried recording it, it wouldn't work anymore. And to say that whenever I was made aware of this other way of getting the bandage, I booted up the game and I managed to get it to work on my first try. And now I cannot get it to work anymore, so basically half of my running time to this level will be seeing me Vinto onto this one tower here, waiting for rockets to finally pierce this one thing. It's gonna be the greatest run to this level ever. But come on, the one condition of this run was that there was not gonna be any kind of practice. And finally, the other condition is that the entire footage will be unedited. So basically, you will be finally seeing the pure Super Meat Boy Let's Play experience from YouTube, where somebody will go through a level and not cut out anything, if only because that is zany. Alright, now that we're going into this one tower, hopefully we will see some progress. Alright, no, don't! Oh my god, why am I still trying to get the bandage this way? Just stick with what works! Oh, this is really cringe-worthy right now. I mean, why? Why will I do this? This was such a terrible idea. But come on, I said that I will do it if only because people thought that there were not enough deaths into this Let's Play, and well, basically I need to oblige it to some way, if only because my going through this game has been too easy for the most part, so we gotta raise the stakes at one point. Ah, come on, that was so close! Can we finally be done with this? If I'm having so much trouble with the bandage, I can't wait until I finally get it and that, well, that I died into a stupid way while going through the rest of this level and I have to restart everything. And considering that I can't even get to the bandage like half of the time, I can see that things will go really, really great. But at least I finally decided to call it quits for the alternate strategy of getting the bandage, so hopefully things will work well. Oh, they finally did! Alright, now come on, we don't have any kind of fuck-ups that will be tolerated here. Oh, come on, I need to jump through this thing because I'm too scared to get the rocket launcher to open it for me. But here we go, things have worked well so far, so here we go, come on, we're almost done. I really don't want to go through this again. Thank you, we're finally done. Surprisingly, things went really well. I think I died even more than with my gamepad playthrough for some reason, so... Okay, I guess that this experiment didn't work as well as I thought, but here we go, I made it through this level with the keyboard. But this level was kind of more reliant on timing instead of precision, so I think that keyboard or not keyboard, this wouldn't have been changed too much. I think that a level on the end would have been far harder for me to beat. So here we go, that will be it for this loose ends video where we tied a whole lot of things up before we tackle the final event. In a world where Bandage Girl is the superheroine and not some damsel in distress, 20 levels of rage-inducing, happy-flavored, colorful levels of pink gooey death await you in the Cotton Alley.